So this is what happens when it's right around 2:30 in the morning and I can't fall asleep. I talk to my camera. Anyway, what up YouTube? So everybody has been talking about Avatar. No, not the blue aliens. The Last Airbender, The Legend of Aang. And if you have been living under a rock for the past years, the animated series is probably one of the best shows you can watch. And if it's not obvious yet, I highly recommend the animated version. Go watch it. But just so we can give you a little bit of background, the animated series came out in 2005, nearly 19 years onto the recording of this video. Man, I feel old. That's because I am old. But anyway, we will be talking about Netflix's live adaptation of Avatar, The Legend of Aang. This is basically a review, so if you haven't seen either shows, spoiler warning. So I won't be nitpicking everything that I didn't like about the show, nor will I be complimenting everything that I liked about the show, as these are the only ones that really stood out to me and are on the top of my head. So Netflix has paralleled their show with the animated series with 3 seasons. Book 1, 2, and 3. We will be focusing on Book 1, wherein the animated series had 20 episodes and Netflix only has 8. You can probably see where I'm going with this. A lot of the scenes and story felt really rushed, and it affected the character development so much. Viewers had very little engagement with important characters such as Jet, Theo, and Haru, who wasn't even on the show. But I understand, they only had 8 episodes and they squeezed in on what they can. Let's let that slide. But that has a domino effect all throughout the show. They changed a lot of the backstories and scenes from the original source material. Some I liked and some that I didn't. And let's start with what I didn't. Again, this is just on top of my head. Number 1, and I'll start with the most forgivable, and there is just too much slow motion. Especially during the fight scenes. I may have gotten used to the animated series wherein the fight scenes were just the benders would be very creative, graceful, and everything would be fast-paced and amazing. Especially after watching the fight scenes from The Legend of Korra. The standards are a bit up there. But again, this is the most forgivable. We can let that slide. The next one would be the storytelling between the relationship of Fire Lord Ozai and Princess Azula. In the animated series, Azula was very intimidating and just the perfect little soldier. Everyone was scared of her and respected her, especially Fire Lord Ozai. However, in Netflix's version, there were a lot of scenes wherein she needed to prove herself to her dad, which in my opinion was a bit of a downplay on her character. We never saw that from the animated series because she was the perfect little soldier from the gate. The Fire Nation was already dominating the war, and Fire Lord Ozai said in Azula's very first scene, "Iroh is a traitor, and your brother is a failure. I have a task for you." Ozai was basically holding back. Azula was his secret weapon. Like, okay, everyone else screwed up, but I'm pretty sure you won't. The third and last one that I can think of that I didn't like was how they portrayed Boomy. I mean, Boomy is one of the most likable characters in the entire show. He was an old, crazy, jumpy, happy-go-lucky king of Omashu and one of the greatest earthbenders who ever lived. One of the greatest, not the greatest. We all know who that is. So in Netflix's adaptation, Boomy was still crazy and somewhat a bit jumpy and happy-go-lucky, but he was never bitter about Aang disappearing for 100 years. He never yelled at Aang like, "Where were you when we were fighting for our lives?" Well, it's true, but he was never like that towards Aang, which makes him very likable. Because despite the war, his attitude towards Aang never changed. And Boomy never encouraged Aang to end anyone. Like, That is just so out of character and it really threw me off. But enough about the negatives and let's move on to the positives. One of the things that I really liked about the show is they added a lot of additional scenes. Like the airbenders fighting back during the invasion of the Fire Nation. We had more scenes with Monk Gyatso. They told Avatar Kuruk's background. And need I mention, they showed Lu Ten's funeral. And as they play Leaves from the Vine, it's just perfect. I'm probably forgetting some additional scenes that they added, but these are scenes that I never knew that we needed until they gave it to us. The next one that I liked is the CGI of Appa, Momo, Heibai, Ko the Face Stealer, or basically any creature. All of them were spot on. To the people who worked on those CGI, bravo to you, and you deserve a raise. It's like you copied them directly from the 2D animation and just pasted them into CGI. The accuracy is undeniable and I loved it. And I'm hoping that you guys keep it up for next season. The next and last one is the way that they used some of the lines from the animated show directly into the live action. I know it's a simple thing, but it kind of strengthens the connection between the animated show and Netflix adaptation, and it's basically just something for me to geek out about because I could tell when they're saying stuff directly from the animated series. I don't know why. It's still in my memory, I guess. It's just such a great show, and whenever they use it on the lines, I kind of geek out about it. And that kind of concludes my review. So if I would rate this show from a scale of 1 to 10, I would give it a solid 7. In my opinion, they just simply had too much stories and important scenes for just 8 episodes. And that really took a toll on my experience in watching the show. However, if you've never watched the animated series, you'll be fine directly watching onto this one, but still, I highly recommend the animated series first before you jump into this one. Anyway, they're already renewed for season 2 and season 3, so that's a good thing. They'll be finishing the entire story, the entire Legend of Aang. And I'm really interested on how they will bring Top Beifong to life. And I'm hoping that they would show some more interactions with Momo and Appa. You know, just to show that they're not just the gang's furry companions, they're more than that. There are specific scenes in the animated series that really hurts because of their bond with Momo and Appa. So, more scenes with them. And yeah, that's pretty much it. If you'd like this review, please leave a like. Consider subscribing to the channel. And let me know your thoughts about the show on the comment section down below. In the meantime, I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye!